Hi, this is Seema. I am going to do a video today which is on the subject of gratitude and its connection to entitlement. I know that everybody who hears about it for the first time asks me, how are these two connected? I mean, they don't sound like they are. Well, actually, they are. So, if laziness is the pip of several other dozens of negative traits and habits, then gratitude is the pip or the seed of several positive traits and habits, which are very common to leaders, incidentally. So, when we talk about leadership development, we talk about just characteristics of strong leaders. When you do meet a really strong leader, one of the things that's really going to stand out is this ability for gratitude. And I say gratitude is an ability because after a certain point, when situations and circumstances can be controlled by you because of power, chair, position, because of how people kind of relate to you, or it's so easy for you to command your place because there's also authority. Very few leaders really restrain themselves and demonstrate influence without authority, which is to influence people by way of inspiring them. Inspiring and engaging, therefore, comes through the door like this because you don't want to use severe, strong force and power to get people to do what you want them to do. They have to be convinced, they have to be morally, ethically traveling with you. And if this is the type of leader you are, you would have very humble traits. Humility is a very important component, therefore, and with humility comes this portion of gratitude. And actually, if you ask me whether the chicken came first or the egg came first or the egg came last, the most pointing fact that I have discovered after meeting several leaders, especially some of the best leaders that I did over my time, which is mainly across JP Morgan Chase and John Deere, with John Deere having a large number of seriously highly recommendable kind of leadership. I observed that humility was something that you can experience all the time. And this humility is seen in several facets, which meant that they were absolutely okay to be fine to say that this is not done by me, it was someone else's piece of work or art or thinking. There is no desire to take away credit. They are definitely not people who practice plagiarism. These are leaders who actually love the idea of letting people flower and be. And gratitude to them is very potent because this is how they hold people. The art of bringing people to you is not just to inspire them and push them and get them to do the job, but to give them the credit, to allow them to surface, for you to be in a position to love them enough, like you would if this was your child, that's what you would do. And this kind of leadership is fine to do that. Gratitude, therefore, is about respect also. And you see how all of these facets are now connecting themselves. Because if you don't have respect for people, you don't have respect for who you work for, then gratitude is kind of limited to just thanking your stars. I very closely worked with a few leaders like Mark Housey and quite a few like John Stone and many others in John Deere who truly inspired me. A lot of stuff that I learned about leadership traits, the real competencies and behaviors that should be ideally encouraged at the workplace come from John Deere. And that's definitely one of the reasons why it is one of the world's finest companies to work for, because leadership development is taken really seriously here. And leaders are serious about being leaders as well. So you don't find a situation or a circumstance where, let's say, the organization doesn't have money, and there's really this is a real life example. There's no money. We don't know where tomorrow is going to come from, and you have a leader who wants to force himself to be on travels and trips that really does not require him at all, and is a show stealer. When he lands in these meetings, he kind of eats up the room and doesn't give the people who are hired to do the job. And the insistence is to only manage a business class travel. And the shock of it is that the same person goes off to talk to other people and ask them, as grown up men, to share the same bed in the room because we have a cost crisis. Now, are you seeing lack of respect for other people? Of course you do. Are you seeing sense of entitlement? Yes, you do. It is because of the existence of this sense of entitlement that these are mine because I am XYZ today, that the world needs to honor my presence, that there is total disregard for other people and their rights and their space. From a true leadership angle, therefore, gratitude can be demonstrated when there is zero sense of entitlement. Are you someone who's fine to travel in a rickshaw if need be? Are you okay with eating your meals at a tiny little place across the corner because that was convenient? Or is it something that you would consider as total a bore because you're XYZ today? If you start to think like this and it's not coming from an area of hygiene or it's not coming from an area of safety, then yeah, surely you're suffering from entitlement. And I'm yet to meet somebody who has a strong sense of entitlement, but is totally grateful to people. Another example is an organization that is teetering at the brink of self-destruction, and bad announcements happen around the corner, and the first thing a particular leader decides to do is to rip and throw away the pictures of a founder because founder doesn't make any sense anymore. To me, that was like the most shocking experience of how the daimyo is disrespected. So who's daimyo? Daimyo is not a concept from India. It is a Japanese idea of working for the master. And anyone in India who understands what it means to work for the master is possibly suffering from babuism, which is a hangover from the British era of service and servitude. But in a Japanese concept, it's not just about working for the feudal lord as much as it is about owning the land of the lord and its people. So you operate from a place of pride and you operate from a place of service to the land. That's your real daimyo. So from an organization perspective, a person with a very high sense of zero entitlement, complete sense of responsibility, high sense of respect for people, who does not want to use authority to control people, but has a deep core which operates from the space of humility and gratitude, will be somebody who looks for the best interest of the people at all times, and therefore the organization. You don't work for a person, you work for the organization, and you would do what you have to do for the organization. Thank you, and I hope this little bit on how gratitude is linked to entitlement was okay to be explained in about 7.5 minutes now. Yeah, I will try to get a little more efficient than I am, and hopefully the next few videos, which are on people leadership competencies, will be under 5 minutes. But thank you for listening.